You know, for over 140 years, one single institution has been right at the heart of law and justice in Punjab. It's seen everything, from the British Raj to modern-day Pakistan. Today, we're going to break down the incredible legacy of the Lahore High Court. Just think about what a single number can tell you. In this case, that number is 143. That's 143 years of history, all packed into one court. A history that has seen empires fall, a new nation rise, and the law constantly evolving right in the heart of South Asia. It's pretty incredible. But what does this all mean for people today? I mean, it's not just some old historical building, right? It's the absolute judicial pillar for Punjab, which is Pakistan's most populous province. It literally impacts the lives of millions and millions of people every single day. And the scale of this thing is just immense. We're not talking about just one courthouse in Lahore. No way. This is a whole system with a main seat and 3 other regional benches. It's staffed by 60 justices, and they serve a population of over 110 million people. It's a massive and absolutely vital part of Pakistan's entire legal system. But, an institution like this doesn't just pop up overnight. It has really deep roots. To truly get what makes it tick, we have to go way back to its origins, which weren't in a modern state, but in the really complex and often turbulent machinery of British India. So how did this all happen? Well, it was a slow process. It actually started out as just an administrative board under the East India Company. But then, after the Crown took direct control, it became obvious that they needed a real legal system. And that's what led to the Punjab Courts Act, and finally, in 1882, the birth of the High Court that we know today. Okay, so that 1865 Act? It was a real game changer. It basically created a clear ladder for the justice system. A case could start at the superlocal level with an administrator called a tehsildar, and then it could climb up through all these different tiers, all the way to the very top, the Court of the Judicial Commissioner. But of course, an institution built for a colony can't stay the same when a brand new nation is born. The year 1947 and the creation of Pakistan, well, that event was going to fundamentally transform the court's entire purpose and identity. So what happens after independence? Well, the Lahore High Court doesn't just, survive the transition. It actually becomes even more important. By 1956, it was the very nucleus, the heart, of the new West Pakistan High Court, absorbing other provincial courts and unifying the judiciary for the entire western half of the country. And at the heart of all this change was one really simple but powerful idea: access to justice for everyone. That's why the creation of permanent benches in 1981 was such a huge deal. All of a sudden, people in the far corners of Punjab didn't have to make that long, difficult trip to Lahore. Justice was coming to them, making the whole legal system way more accessible. But you see, the court's history, it's not all smooth sailing and stories of growth. It's also a story of survival, of being put under incredible pressure. Moments when the judiciary came face to face with forces that wanted to operate outside the Constitution. Okay, to really get what happened next, we need to talk about something called a Provisional Constitutional Order, or PCO. So, what on earth is that? Well, think of it like a pause button on the Constitution, usually hit during non-democratic rule. When a PCO is issued, judges often have to take a whole new oath, and that, as you can imagine, puts them in a really, really tough spot. In 1981, this wasn't theoretical anymore. It was real. And every single judge had to make an impossible choice. Do you swear a new oath, which basically validates a suspended constitution, or do you stand by your original oath and get kicked off the bench? Talk about a test of your principles, right? And as history shows us, several judges chose to sacrifice their entire careers rather than compromise their constitutional duty. So that whole legacy, that history of adapting and standing firm, it all leads us right back to the court that we have today. So let's come full circle and take a look at the modern court, its structure, its leadership, and how that past really informs its present. I mean, just look at the leadership. It tells you everything. You start with a British Chief Justice, Sir Henry Plowden. Then, decades later, you get a huge step forward, the first Indian Chief Justice, Sir Shadi Lal. And today, it's led by Justice Elia Neelam. This progression, it's not just a change of names, it's the story of the court and of Pakistan itself. So how does the court actually work today? Well, it all operates within a really clear constitutional framework.
Its 60 justices are appointed by a special judicial commission, and they serve until they hit a fixed retirement age. And this isn't just boring red tape. The structure is the very foundation of its stability and, most importantly, its independence from outside pressure.
So at the end of the day, we're left with this: an institution that was born in colonialism, that was tested by military rule, and that became absolutely central to a modern nation. It's proven it can survive. But the big question now is, in a world full of new and complex challenges, can it continue to not just survive, but to lead the way in shaping a more just future for the millions who rely on it?